Good evening, viewers and listeners of Bwiza TV and Bwiza.com. It's 21st December 2023. I bring you news in English. I'm Juliet Batsinda, and quickly let me take you through the headlines. From RDC, Fayulu and Mukwege are among those who asked for the elections to be cancelled. From Kinshasa, an RFI reporter survives narrowly while covering the elections. 4 people drowned in the reservoir. Hamas says Israel strike killed border officials. African activists praise Popo's decision on the same-sex marriage. Quickly, let me take you through the details. Fayulu and Mukwege are among those who asked for the elections to be annulled. Politicians including Martin Fayulu and Denis Mukwege requested that the presidential elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo be annulled after it was found to be fraud. On Wednesday, December 20th, 44 million Congolese people went to the elections, including the president and the members of parliament, looking to replace President Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, who has completely served 5-year term. It was an election that showed many defeats, including the fact that many of the citizens were unable to participate because the polling stations opened their doors late and others were missing from the voters list. The information provided by Catholic Bishops' Conference of RDC, which had 25,000 observers in the elections, say that the hour of the start of voting reached 31.37% of the offices not yet opened, and that the offices 45.1% had a problem with malfunctioning of the technological equipment that had to be used. CEN also announced that during those hours, its inspectors were not allowed to do their work at 9.8% of the offices. About 7.84% violent acts were seen, including 5.88% of the damage. As in towns including Bunia, in Ituri province, the people had gone to the polling stations, destroyed the voting materials, and burned the voting papers. While it was planned that the elections should last for 1 day, the commission in charge, CENI, announced that they should continue so that the people who did not vote also have an opportunity to vote. Amidst the various frauds that marked the election, 5 politicians who were in the context called for it to be cancelled and asked for another one to be held soon. These include Martin Fayulu, the head of opposition, Nobel Peace Prize winner Denis Mukwege, alternative Syrian leader Farabeti Anyuzirin, Nkema Riol, and Pastor Theodore Ngoy. In a statement issued last night, they said that they took the decision to request the cancellation of the elections due to the delay in voting in many areas due to technical and logistical problems. The RDC government, through Patrick Muyaya, who speaks for it, on the other hand, thanked the elected. Minister Muyaya, in a press release released last night, condemned the act of vandalism that occurred in some parts of the country. He demands that those involved be brought to justice. In other news from Kinshasa, an RFI reporter survived narrowly while covering the election. The Association of Journalists Representing the International Papers in the Democratic Republic of Congo, SCPI, condemned the violation and actions that destroyed the independence that was committed last Wednesday, December 20th, in Kinshasa, where a journalist, Pasiko Mulengwa, who works for Radio France Internationale, RFI, in the course of his professional career, only monitoring election activities. This journalist, accompanied by one of his colleagues, was reporting with a micro with the RFI logo at the polling station site located at Institut Technique d'Art Ngaraleima, located in the north of Kinshasa. Pascal Mulengwa said about 120 men believed to be supporters of the president's party recognized us and attacked us. My friend escaped, but I was caught. According to him, those who did not accuse him of working for LFI, he said, I was arrested by these guys, some of them armed with knives, who say they are supporters and voters of President Tshisekedi. They beat me to the ground, they took my things and almost killed me. Pascal Mulengwa continued to say that he went to see other nurses who became his rescue because the Minister of Information, Patrick Muyaya, arrived. He said, my life was saved thanks to the participation of some of the young people who took me out of school. I fell in a trap. I remember that I saw the gate of the fence and ended up there before being transferred to an ambulance sent by the Ministry of Information, Patrick Muyaya, which took me to the hospital. He escaped with a broken right leg and a broken jaw, while his money and a telephone was taken. SCPI RDC says it is concerned about the violence against a member for the reason of being a well-known journalist. In Rwanda, 4 people drowned in the reservoir. 4 people died in a water reservoir of the National Agency for Agriculture and Livestock, RAB, located in Chibirizi sector of Nyanza region, where they were going to clean it. The story of the death of these people was confirmed by the Nyanza district mayor, Nazinda Erazeme. The official told Kigali Today that the irrigation water machines in the RAB farms at Motutu station had been malfunctioning for days, which led to the decision to investigate the cause. Mayor Nazinda said that in examining the matter, it was decided to send the deceased to the 8-meter deep tank containing water raised by the machines in order to clean it. He said out of the 5 people who were sent to the tank, only 1 managed to get out alive, while 4 of his friends drowned. It is believed that there was gas in the tank that caused them to die, as Mayor Nazinda continued to explain. He said, the lab is still investigating. We do not know if they were in contact with gas that prevented them from breathing, but that's what we suspect. It was the first time they had opened it to see if there was something that prevented the machines from raising water. Of the 4 who died, 3 are from Nyanza district, while the other one is from Kamonyi. As soon as they were removed from the tank, their bodies were taken to Nyanza District Hospital for postmortem. Rocket sirens sounded Thursday in central and south Israel, where Hamas militants in Gaza Strip said an Israel airstrike killed 4 people in southern Gaza. Hamas said those killed included Bossam Gaheben, the Hamas-appointed senior border official on Gaza's side of the Kelem Sharon crossing. The Reuters news agency quoted an Israel military spokesperson saying Israel was not familiar with this incident. Israel opened the Kelem Sharon crossing last week, allowing aid to cross from the inspection sites there direct into Gaza instead of having to go to the Rafah border, crossing the linking Gaza and Egypt. The Israel Defense Force posted maps showing rocket alarms stretching from Ashkelon, just north of the Gaza Strip, up to the Tel Aviv area. Palestinian militants have fired barrages of rockets at Israeli territory throughout the conflict. Israel's military also said Thursday that its forces had carried out attacks against 2,030 targets in the Gaza Strip during the past day. The UN officer for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said a shutdown of telecommunication services in Gaza made it difficult to report on situations there, and that the aid agencies and the first responders have warned that the telecommunications blacks out the already constrained provisions of life-saving assistance. In other news, the African activists praise Pope's decision on same-sex marriage. A Nigerian activist, Promise Ohidi, known as Empress, woke up to cheering news on Thursday. Pope Francis had given Catholic priests permission to give blessing to same-sex couples in a landmark declaration. Ohidi, a Catholic transgender woman, has faced a serious discrimination and threats to her life related to her sexuality. She said she couldn't have hoped for the better news, but acknowledged there would be resistance. It's not going to be an easy thing, she said. I'm sure that African people will definitely protest against it. They mostly use religion against us, the queer people. I feel like the Pope making the decision I feel like it's good for the queer people. I'm having good reactions about it. Other African activists also praised Francis' decision to let the Catholic priests bless the same-sex couples, with hopes that the Pope's gesture could ease the anti-LGBTQ sentiment and oppression on the continent. But African religious organizations are not expected to embrace the Vatican's announcement. In Nigeria, at least one bishop has voiced dismay about it. The Vatican said the blessing would not be similar to a wedding ceremony, which it maintained can happen only between a man and a woman. Bishop John Promise Daniel, the vice president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, said same-sex blessings and marriage are not acceptable. He said, I'm more or less shocked when I heard what the Pope said. There is nobody who can change the position of the Word of God, whether you are a Pope, Archbishop, whatever you are. If the Bible does not support it, I don't care who supports it. It's invalid. The Catholic Church of Nigeria has not yet responded to Pope's statement, but experts predict that the church's officials may disagree and continue with different doctrine on that matter. Good evening. I'm Juliet Batsinda. I sign out.